Jordan!
Iain.
Who went to microwave some beans, was confused about the outcome of last week's conversation, stuck the spoon in with him anyway, and now has to buy a new kitchen.
Charlie Chaplin?
No, two guys. Hello and welcome to episode 76 of Two Guys What's Up, the weekly comedy podcast where microwaves have always been my worst enemy, and today I'm joined by one of their strongest allies, Jordan. Jordan, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. I honestly thought you were going to say microwaves are my own worst enemy, and second to that is this guy.
Oh, I should have said that.
Iain, I've got some quick news for you.
Okay, please tell me.
I finally received my sofa,
Hey!
which is good news.
Probably the best news I've ever heard.
But,
Oh God, did I just hear a but?
well,
Oh fucking hell.
there's a few problems.
Please go and tell me.
As we know, it's a motorised recliner. You know, it's not a manual one anymore.
I don't think you've said it, but
Oh, okay. Okay, fair enough.
you are on Facebook's most stalked list, so I'm sure everybody already knows by now.
It's a motorised recliner, and it's lovely, but there's a few issues. First of all, the feet colours don't match properly.
What? Disgusting.
And they're a different shade.
That's awful, mate. Send it back.
Well, hey, here's the thing. Also, the back of the recliners, because they're fitted together, they don't come as one unit.
Why?
They don't align properly. They're like an inch out of alignment.
Oh no, man.
And I think it was actually fitted together incorrectly by the guys that delivered it.
What, the independent courier who you got to get them delivered?
Exactly. Well, I didn't actually book that courier, so again, it falls on fucking sofasawackers.com.
What a name. Probably shouldn't have gone with them, mate.
Oh, sorry, it was like customersawackers.com. Oh,
Sofas are wackers. Fucking sofas, I eat them things.
I fucking do now. And the other thing, it was missing a battery pack because, of course, it is motorised. It would otherwise have to be plugged into a wall socket.
Yeah.
We'd ordered battery packs that last like 3 months before they need to be charged.
Wow.
So that we don't need to do that. And they were missing. So, long story short, not been a great experience there.
So anyone out there, do not go to sofasawackers.com.
Or the sister site, customersawackers.com. Because it's not particularly great.
Shit service.
I mean, we've got new feet on the way, so that's something. Apparently, it's going to take 10 weeks, though.
What?
I don't know how on earth. It's obviously been delivered by foot from Africa.
Well, mate, feet by foot. I guess that's the way it should work.
And then we've got a technician booked next month to come and check over the sofa and see what can be done about it.
Mate, you know society's going to shit when you need technicians for your sofa.
That is true, yeah.
What the fuck?
Imagine, like, you go to uni to be a sofa technician.
Oh, God. Daddy, when I grow up, I want to be a sofa technician. Get some real aspirations, you dickhead.
Yeah, be a musician or something.
Yeah, be a magician or a fucking, I don't know, drummer. No, Daddy, no.
I didn't mean it, Daddy.
Anyway, Jordan, so I was hoping that you could fill us in and talk about a person that we went to go see a little while ago now, when we went to the theatre. I don't know if you recall. I mean, it was quite a while ago.
It was a couple of months ago now.
Can you remember it well enough to fill us all in? Because I can't. I'm really putting it all on your shoulders.
Yeah, and you literally just told me about this not even 5 minutes ago.
There is a reason that I want you to tell me about this, which is relevant to my segment, but yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay.
My apologies.
Sorry, but not sorry.
Precisely.
It was the Greg Chapman non-psychic show.
That was the guy, yeah. I've just got him referenced as that guy in my notes because I can't remember his name.
It made a clear impression on you then.
I'm just terrible with names. I can see him in my mind clear as day, but I'm shit with names.
Yeah, to be honest, I thought it was a really enjoyable show. The tickets were really cheap, at something like £12 each. I mean, it was nothing. Mm-hmm. The interval drinks were £1 each. That's a bargain.
Yeah, for a can of Coke in this day and age, fucking perfect.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was a really good show. I enjoyed it. I'm trying to think of all the various things that he did. I mean, they were all, as the name implies, demonstrations of supposed psychic powers, or ways that supposed psychics, should I say, have tried to demonstrate their powers.
Through seances and things like that as well.
Exactly, yeah. And there was a whole bunch of things that happened, including like spirit cabinet boxes. Mm-hmm. There was a really interesting, sort of really a card trick, but it was involving photographs and the participant unknowingly separating them into alive and dead piles. It's a Darren Brown thing that actually stole from. But alas, that's all right. That's okay. I'll let it slide. It's fine.
I won't tell my best pal Darren, even, what's his name?
Derry B.
Good old Dezza.
Yeah, that's the guy.
I won't text him. I'll be like, hey, buddy, how's it going? Up for another cocktail soon. Oh, by the way, this guy stole your trick. Do you want me to get him for you? Because I know where he lives.
I don't know.
Oh, do you not? I was just bluffing. But the funny thing is, Darren Brown, he's so magical, he knows where he lives.
He does. He just has to really look into his eyes and then he just knows.
It's all like a massive paradox, isn't it? Because in order to find him, he has to look into his eyes. But in order to look into his eyes, he has to find him.
That's such a good point. I mean, he could bump into him.
He could do, but then he could just get him and he wouldn't need to know where he lives. He could just get him there and then.
But yeah, it was very enjoyable. He seemed like a lovely guy as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm assuming a reason why you specifically wanted to speak about this because of your segment today, which I don't know what on earth is going to happen.
Absolutely. First of all, do you want to tell me what you're going into today?
Okay, yeah, I will do. So today I have some restaurant chain anonymous employee alleged confessions about their bad practices and maybe a lack of hygiene.
Oh, shit, okay.
Basically, I thought I need an excuse to be put off eating and ordering takeaways. It just costs too much.
I was going to say, is that your plan?
And it's not good for my gut. So that is what I'm going to be going into today.
Lovely. Very nice. Can't wait to hear about that. Hopefully a bit of inspiration there to maybe cut out the takeaways, as you say.
I mean, here's hoping.
Probably not.
No, probably won't, to be fair. So, Ian, you got to tell me. What's happening?
Okie dokie, Jordan. The reason that I wanted you to tell me and our lovely audience about our little trip to the theatre is because my segment is all about something called the Scole Experiment. Now, I only heard about this yesterday, but it's very interesting. The skeptic magician that we went to see, good old Greggy boy, he didn't talk about it. So I thought maybe I'd give you some counter evidence, and maybe if he hears this, maybe he can weigh on this topic as well.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, should we just f***ing jump into it right now, mate?
I think so.
Guys, f***ing do it, pal. So, Jordan, the Scole Experiment was designed to seek scientific evidence of the afterlife. The experiment was named after its location, a small village of Scole in Norfolk, and it led to some surprising findings. It was conducted by a group known as the Scole Group, because of the location, and included Robin and Sandra Foy, Alan and Diana Bennett, and several other participants, mediums, and investigators over the years. By the way, Jordan, you're going to have to just think on the fly, mate, and just jump in any second you can, because I wrote this last night, and I couldn't inject any comedy. It's all just facts.
Oh,
Yeah, any moment you think about it, just straight in with a joke, okay?
Oh, God, it's 22 all over again.
It's happening again.
Facts galore.
To be honest, I was going to say, no, it's nothing like 22, but to be honest, I thought 22 was good when I wrote it, so only time will tell.
Sad thing is you took longer on 22 than you did for this one.
I really did, like a week or something. I wish I could get it back, Jordan.
I'm afraid you can't deal with it.
Okay. So, in 1993, psychic researchers Sandra and Robin Foy teamed up with another couple, mediums Diana and Alan Bennett. Their explicit aim was to establish a direct line of communication between the living and the dead, investigating the possibility of communicating with spirits to provide evidence for the existence of life after death, which they hoped to achieve through a series of controlled seances and experiments under various conditions. The quartet initially collaborated with three friends. They wanted to determine if the Victorian practice of holding seances had been unfairly dismissed as hocus pocus. They would descend a winding staircase and enter a midnight blue cellar through a solid oak door, where they would sit around a table. They each wore luminous armbands to track their movements in the dark. Robin would open with a prayer, so in total darkness, in the cellar of the Foy's 17th century farmhouse known as the Scole Hall,
wow,
which is definitely somewhere I want to visit, they started holding and conducting seances trying to get irrefutable evidence.
Okay. Interesting. So it's not an actual hole then?
No, it's just the basement. They just called it the Scole Hall, I guess because it rhymes.
Oh, that was very clever of them. Very witty back then.
They were scientists, Jordan, and investigators.
I was wondering if Mel's hole was the same and actually it was just a basement.
Possibly. Or the Scole Hall is much like Mel's Hall, and they're like, right, we just have to do a seance. See you later!
Yeah. But Mel wasn't a scientist, so he wasn't as clever as to make it rhyme.
What would he call it?
Could have gone with, like, Mel's Hell.
Oh, f***ing hell, good one. I was trying to think of something hole-orientated. Mel... What rhymes with Mel?
Mel's Bells.
That sounds like a Christmas song.
It does a little bit. Go on, you got to do one now.
Mel's...
Smells.
I was trying to get the word "fell" in there, because like you fall in holes, so it's like hole orientated at least.
Oh, okay.
Mel fell. Where did he fall? Into a hole. Do you want to see it? Oh, by the way, he didn't actually fall into it. That's just a way to open up conversation about the hole.
Oh, okay.
Mel's right here. Hiya.
Yeah, you usually like opening up a good hole.
Mate, last night I opened up a big fucking hole in my brain with many cocktails.
I can tell.
I've got, for anyone at home who doesn't know, Jordan's been on the cocktail train for quite a while.
It's very true.
I have all of a sudden gone, I really like cocktails and don't want to spend £15 a shot when I go out, so I'm going to get my own. So I bought about 20 bottles of alcohol now.
Yeah, I don't want to know how much you spent.
Actually, fairly little, because I went for the cheap options of everything. Archer's, no thanks. Tesco's peach drink. Yes, please.
Tesco's finest bottle of piss.
Which is just my own piss, because I piss alcohol.
True.
But last night I opened a bottle of absinthe.
Oh God, that's like 70%, isn't it?
I don't think the one I've got is that, but it does look like it's got like the all-seeing eye on the front, which is what made me go for it. So it could be fucking anything in there, but it looked cool. So I made a couple drinks with that. I think I had about 4, and then I just woke up with the most horrendous fucking hangover. Like the most hungover I've been in a long time.
Really?
I mean, all the drinks I made didn't even all have absinthe in it. I only had like 1 or 2, and one had half a shot.
Yeah, no, but when absinthe is as strong as it is, half a shot is enough.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's fucking crazy. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to you coming around next time, because I also today received, I neglected to tell you via text because I couldn't be bothered getting it down from its shelf, but I got today my creme de cacao, which is, I think, chocolate liqueur.
Oh, wow.
So I can now actually make a fucking grasshopper cocktail, which for anyone who doesn't know is creme de menthe, which is menthol, creme de cacao, which is a chocolate, and cream. And it is my favourite cocktail in the entire world.
Wow, so it's like a minty chocolate.
It's an alcoholic aero.
Yeah, wow.
What doesn't sound better than that?
A really good hand job.
Yeah, that's what you get after the drinks, mate. It's all for one in my house. Come round, get some drinks, you get a handy. It's great.
Perfect. I mean, that's the only reason. I don't really like alcohol, but I went with it anyway.
I said I'd never going to drink when I was 15 and I got my first hangover. Never drank since, but, for that hand job, I'll endure a couple cocktails.
Absolutely. Give me that absinthe.
I put that fucking cocktails, mate.
And not cockroach.
No.
Oh, God, don't be putting cockroaches in cocktails. Oh, you
Well, we'll see how far it goes, eh? Once I've mixed everything else, the only 2 options that might be left might be cockroaches and my
Fair enough. We'll find out, won't we?
We fucking will. Anyway, back to the story. So when they were doing these seances, the group had some other traditional spiritualist techniques they use, like table tipping, automatic writing, and direct voice communication, which I'll go into a little bit later. To document the phenomena, they used a range of recording equipment like audio and video recorders, cameras, and sometimes even scientific instruments provided by external researchers. And they caught some stuff, Jordan. The evidence gathered was actually rather compelling, with a wide variety of bizarre and intriguing phenomena that were reported by the participants and observed and verified by invited scientists. And here is some of the things that was reported during these seances. Spirits appeared to be heard on recordings, each with distinct voices of their own. Photographs taken during the seance often showed unusual and unexplained images, like shapes, faces, and other forms that were not visible to the naked eye at the time. Participants often reported feeling being touched by unseen forces or experiencing sudden temperature changes. Objects such as crystals, gemstones, and other small artifacts would materialise. These objects would seemingly appear out of nowhere and were found littered around the seance table and floor. There were claims of ancient-looking objects materialising, including coins and other items, like for example in one seance in October 1993, a Churchill crown appeared on the table. One of the most commonly reported phenomena was the appearance of bright moving orbs of light. These orbs were said to dart around the room, change colours, and sometimes even pass through solid objects. As well as the orbs though, they were reported to be luminous shapes that seemed to change and morph into humans, cats and dogs. Participants frequently reported hearing voices that seemed to come out of nowhere, which were often attributed to spirits and were said to convey messages, provide guidance, or answer questions posed by the seance attendees. Right, so all this sounds pretty standard to seances, right?
I mean, I've not attended one, but I would imagine so.
But I mean, you have all the information based on what that guy said.
Mr. Greg Chapman.
That's the guy. So he gave you all the information, you'd probably expect from a wide variety of seances. It'd be the general thing. But things get a little bit weirder now.
Okay.
So buckle up, Jordan.
I'm buckled.
Fucking grab your knees.
They're buckling.
Tie them to your chest. Duct tape them to your face, right? Get in the fetal position because you're about to be thrown down a hallway of the spooky.
Okay.
Like a bowling ball. And the pins are aliens and monsters and your fears and your sadness from that time that you weren't allowed to go on that ride at the fair when you were 5.
Oh, you had to bring that up, didn't you?
I know I said I never would. And it did take me 75 episodes. Okay, so you got to give me some credit.
That's all right, though, because I can bowl them out the way, fucking knock them out, man. I can do anything.
In fact, forget all that. Just sit comfortably in your chair and listen.
Okay, I can do that. I'm still stuck.
Shit, am I going to have to call someone?
I'll be all right.
Okay. I'm quite comfy, actually. I'm off for a kip.
I'm rolling down the stairs.
Help me! Why did you make me do this? Ah, my fears! They're at the bottom.
Oh, and I fucking went in the gutter.
Oh, God. Oh, Daddy, please, can I go on the Ferris wheel?
No!
You know. So, they used a type of EVP detection called DRV, or direct radio voice. With this, they were seemingly able to have full conversations with the dead.
Scientist Harry Oldfield, a colleague of the Scole Group, attempts further communication.
We would like to ask the question of the appearance of your space.
I can't really answer that.
Can you tell something about Scole?
They appear to be aware of what you're doing in direct contact with them.
Thank you. Will the work progress?
Certainly.
Thank you. This is what I needed to know. You wish to know more with respect.
Sometimes with communication with others becomes more difficult.
With software, they were able to use voice print analysis, somewhat akin to fingerprints, as in every voice is unique to a person. With this, they were able to verify some of the voices that were coming through to them as deceased people, being verified by still living relatives.
They compared voice prints from 2 audio samples. One was the voice of Shiara Lenzi, recorded before she died. The other came out of Bachi's radio after her death and was clearly recognized by her father. The comparison produced a 97% match.
Skeptics said that this radio device could have just been receiving radio waves imitating a conversation, but this device was then put into something that I think was a Faraday cage. They just called it a special device that blocked all radio signals. But even so, when it was put in there, the radio device still continued to receive voices and they could still have a conversation. So they went a step further. The valves of the radio was removed, rendering it completely useless, but the voices from the dead seemingly continued to still come through.
That's kind of creepy.
It is kind of creepy. As I was watching this, I kept thinking there could be some kind of magic trick behind this. Maybe it's like battery operated, or there's something hidden somewhere so it looks like they're doing something, but then how could they have a random conversation with a random person?
I think I know.
Oh, go on.
I think they're just really good ventriloquists.
Oh, shit, you've cracked it.
Told you.
Well done. Could also throw the voice.
Yeah, it's just very clever what they do when they like scrunch the throat up a little bit, get a little bit hoarse.
Give us an example.
I couldn't give you a really good rendition because I'm not a ventriloquist.
Oh, okay, my mistake.
Well, you're an idiot.
Agreed. In some instances, messages or symbols appeared on photographic film without any apparent physical cause. Cameras would be left in a darkened room, no one would touch them, but when it was developed, the film would now show images of things like bases, cities, and London buses from wartime.
Were these empty films, or were these used film cartridges?
They were fresh, brand new out of the box.
Wow, that's weird.
Very strange, but it gets weirder still. At one point, a roll of camera film was placed simply in its container that it comes in, from the factory, not even in a camera, in a darkened room, and when that was developed, again, images, faces and writings were developed. One invited independent verifier even chose the film from a group of factory-sealed, unopened, new film rolls, cut it from the packaging, it was used, and again, it came back with images.
And what was the explanation that they had to give for that?
Well, they were getting things like faces, so it's like they were trying to communicate, obviously, like in a séance form. So it's like the spirits or whatever on the other side was showing them, this is my face, this is me, this is us, this is the other side, blah blah blah, that kind of thing.
Okay, what did the independent verifier make of that?
I mean, the independent verifier in that situation thought that was very fucking strange.
Okay, interesting.
So other things that would happen happen. Objects in the room would start to float about. Some objects were said to vanish from one location and reappear in another, often in a manner that seemed to defy normal physical laws, which we've heard about in my Jot episode. Objects of a personal nature would reportedly appear in the seance room that had a significant meaning to one or more of the participants. So, say you, come in and you were doing this seance, and they'd be like, can you give us something that's special to us? And then all of a sudden, your red jeweled butt plug that you've got.
Oh, yeah, I'm using it now.
Oh, you're using it now. I was looking for it earlier. I thought you left it here. Anyway, that would just appear, in thin air and fall on the table, and you'd be like, oh, that's my personal belonging.
Especially when you were wearing it at the time.
Yeah, you just feel it disappear.
It's like, I thought I must have got really used to this.
Oh, shit, it slipped out, and then you hear a dunk on the table. You're like, oh, there it is. Everyone else in this darkened room's like, what's that smell?
Awful.
Awfully sexy. Participants reported hearing musical sounds, including melodies played by unseen instruments, sometimes described as being of otherworldly quality. Not quite sure what that means, but I guess if you heard it, you'd know. They had a group of deceased people who communicated with them and helped them, who they called the Spirit Team, who claimed to be thousands of minds working together to provide proof of other dimensions, who consisted of dead scientists and other passed-on people. Groups also reported ringing bells, hovering objects, cracking sounds. In January of 1994, they were sprinkled with water, cameras levitated and took their own photographs. Several scientists and researchers from the Society for Psychical Research who attended the seances provided testimonies about the phenomena they witnessed and reported observing many of the bizarre occurrences firsthand and admitted to struggling to find conventional explanations. And that's saying something, as the SPR are scientists, some Nobel Prize winners, and they ain't easily fooled. In October of 1995, leading members of the SPR observed a seance and concluded that they had witnessed something paranormal, and then in 1999 the SPR published a 450-page report largely supporting the experiment's legitimacy.
Okay, interesting.
Critics argued that the group's insistence on complete darkness was slightly suspicious, but those who knew the group vouched for their honesty. The group eventually disbanded after experiencing interference from a group of experimenters from the future with questionable motives had disrupted their work.
What does that mean?
Make of that sentence what you f***ing will, because I have no clue. It just sounds mental in itself, doesn't it? Oh, sorry mate, we're going to have to stop the job today. I know I promised you free cheese and crackers, but you're going to have to go home because there's a group of experimenters from the future with questionable motives. So there's that.
So, implying, time travellers?
Not sure. I don't think it's time travelers, like people who were actually, like Men in Black kind of thing, trying to come in and intimidate them. There was just someone coming through in the seance who were talking to them, probably just causing problems.
Oh, I see.
Maybe it was another group of researchers who were talking to them at the time.
Possibly. Maybe it was themselves.
Possibly. No.
Who would have thought?
Just got fucking weird. But there is an absolute ton load more information. Lots of little bits I couldn't fit in, and even some fucking stuff about aliens. So it's definitely worth looking into at home. And there is a documentary on YouTube, so I will link that in the description for you to go and have a little look.
Is there, real evidence of all of this, then?
Yeah, I mean, all the evidence is on the video.
Interesting. The Polaroids, or the film, is that also shown anywhere?
Yeah, all the pictures are shown in the documentary.
Wow. Obviously, I've not seen this, but how would you describe those kind of, weird faces and things?
Some of them kind of look like shadows. They kind of look like, really old sort of Polaroids where the ink looks like it's run a bit and it kind of looks a bit out of focus.
Okay.
That kind of thing. But, I mean, they're all fairly clear, what they are. There was one person who they took a photo in a room, or the camera took a photo itself, and then they found out who it was, got in touch with their living relative, and then the person showed a photo of them and there was a likeness to them.
Okay.
It's just a little bit blurrier.
All sorts a bit weird then.
Very strange, yeah. So, I mean, I'd love to hear Greg Chapman's take on what they did and if he's actually looked into it. So
yeah, that would be really interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of the Scole Experiment at all.
I hadn't until 24 hours ago.
And that was not really recent, but relatively recent times.
Yeah, 90s.
Wow. So, I mean, when this happened, I was born, I was around.
You were toddling and I was waddling.
And now I just waddle.
And I can't get up. Anyway.
Very interesting, though. Thank you for sharing that, because I've never heard of that at all.
Not a problem. I'll link the thing in the description. Go and have a watch.
Very good. Yeah, I think I will. I imagine you were saying that to everyone else, though.
It was actually aimed at you.
Oh, okay. Then I will. I'll do it now, actually.
Okay. See you in an hour.
Right, I'll see you a bit later.
See you when you can speak, you wanker. Anyway, tell me some stuff. I've forgotten what you were talking about because it was over an hour ago we started, so...
Yeah, like yesterday, wasn't it, at this point?
It was, yeah.
So, Ian.
Yes.
I have for you today ex-employees spilling secrets from restaurants and cafes about their malpractices.
That's the one. I am very much looking forward to hearing this.
I mean, I don't know if you really want to, but you're going to have to. Disclaimer, I am not at all suggesting that this is what happens to all of these establishments. And of course, I'm in no way implicating that it definitely happens. But this is just what has been admitted to online, and I'm just here to share it.
Nice.
Don't be shooting no messenger.
Okie dokie. You got it, buddy.
All right, so the first one is from The Harvester.
Never heard of it.
Me neither. Quite simply, they say, the chef at our Harvester dropped a piece of fish on the floor. It was early evening, so the floors hadn't been cleaned for about 18 hours.
Blah.
Simply said,
oops,
and picked it up and cooked it. It goes on to say, we had a 5-star hygiene rating just because we knew how to act on the day when the inspector was in.
Yeah, I think that's a general thing. I've worked in kitchens before.
That is true. I mean, hopefully these are not all your wife's admissions.
Oh, God, no. My wife wouldn't admit it, mate. She wouldn't put it out there for the world to read. She's not stupid.
You know, I would have thought, as a loving husband, you might have said, my wife would never recook fish that was dropped on the floor.
Mate, nah.
But I've had a long day, so f*** it.
Yeah, I've had a fucking horrible day, mate. I've only just woken up from my hangover, so...
Oh, dear. Another one is, this is exactly what they're saying. This is not me saying this. Never drink at Cafe Neuro. They rarely clean the coffee machines, and mould is always found in the pipes if they do ever clean them, like every 2 months.
Ah, that's grim.
You love a good coffee as well.
I do. I have taken steps to meet all of my coffee needs at home because I can't afford to go out and get a Costa every day.
And plus, it sounds like you're missing out on the old mould.
Exactly, which you don't want to be eating or drinking.
No, I don't think so. Unless that is what gives it its distinct flavour. Hey, maybe that's what your Starbucks ghost latte was.
Mate, that's very plausible.
It was fucking green.
And a very good point to bring up. Yeah, it was green. It was disgusting. Like, they cleaned out the pipes for the first time in a year. The manager was like, well, don't waste it. Do something with it.
One of the employees was like, well, I can use Photoshop a bit. I'll just put a little ghost on a pumpkin.
Yeah, smashing. Put a little froth on top, a little bit of pumpkin seasoning. There's your seasonal frappe, mate.
I'm sure as you walked away, they were like, whacker.
Yeah, he's the only one who fucking bought it. It's because I don't generally go to Starbucks, so I don't know. Everyone else knows.
Well, needs must.
Absolutely. I needed coffee.
Regardless. Another one. I used to work at McDonald's. If a rude customer ordered a McFlurry, staff would put the spoon in their mouth and then put it back into the McFlurry and serve it to the customer.
That's grim.
Yeah, and it goes on to say, this was just before COVID, when we would all come to work with symptoms because none of us knew what it was.
Oh, man, that's fucked up, bro.
Imagine if that's where the origin is.
One McDonald's, like in Slough or something.
Just domino effect. Another one from McDonald's, they say, used to work in a McDonald's and they made us clean the tables with the same cloth we used to clean the toilet with.
Oh, that's not nice. I mean, I guess their thought process was probably, well, they're getting dipped in disinfectant, so...
Yeah, but...
Guess is true?
It depends how often.
Yeah. I still wouldn't want it. You know, if I saw a cloth go in a toilet, I wouldn't, no matter how many disinfectants it had, I wouldn't want it on my table.
Problem when you, like, suck it dry.
Is that how you do washing in your house?
Well, actually, no. I was going to say, though, I have almost like a bit of a spat going on with my wife, and it's been an ongoing thing for a long time. So if, I don't know, the kitchen counters need a clean, I'm more than happy to take some kitchen roll and, you know, spray some disinfectant, wipe it up with a kitchen towel, and then bin it. Whereas my wife hates that, and she would rather use that fucking shitty cloth that's been hanging over the tap for like a month.
Dude, you have just described my life.
And it's like, how is that any better? It fucking stinks now that you've done it.
Right down to the fucking over the tap. That's where my wife keeps it as well.
It's fucking awful. So after she's like left, I'd just redo it.
You're so right. I mean, as I was making cocktails last night, my wife came down this morning and was like, "Where's all the kitchen roll gone?" And as you know, making cocktails can be a bit messy because you're constantly washing out your mixer.
That is true. And you're drunk, you're spilling it all.
Exactly, yeah. You're spilling fucking drinks everywhere. You're washing shit out all the time. Your hands are always wet. So rather than use a towel that I dry my hands on once and then it doesn't dry my hands again because it's going to be wet, I use kitchen roll. So I would use a slice of kitchen roll, stick it in the bin, and then my wife was like, "Why do you fucking use all the kitchen roll? Why don't you just use, the disgusting cloth that's hanging over the fucking tap?" I was just like, I don't want to fucking use that disgusting sweaty thing.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
It fucking stinks.
I fucking hate it.
It's awful. Like, why on earth would you use that?
Fuck those, mate. We should take a stand and just bin the sink cloth.
I mean, it has happened before.
Oh, has it? And you're still alive. I just wanted to see what had happened. If someone binned the cloth, I was going to let you do it and see if you got killed. And I'd be like, I ain't going to do that.
Shall we create a poll? Anyone listening, are you pro kitchen towel or pro cloth? Let us know.
Okay, I'll try and stick up a poll on Instagram, which I believe is always only on the stories.
Oh, really? Okay.
If you have Instagram, follow us and check out the poll when you can.
Love it. Yeah, please do.
Nice.
Another one from McDonald's. They go on to say that you don't wear gloves when putting toppings on burgers, and literally no one washes their hands, not even after going to the bathroom.
Ew.
I would never eat something unless I had made it myself. The tools used to pick up chicken and beef are dropped on the floor all the time and put straight back in without washing.
Yeah.
When any washing up is done, it's just spraying the items quickly with a hose and splashing some diluted sanitizer over it. No scrubbing at all. People wear aprons that haven't been washed in months, and that's just some of it.
Good lord, that is disgusting.
Yeah, so do you fancy coming to McDonald's tonight?
Yeah, mate, I'd fucking love to. Let's fucking go, pal.
Nice.
There is a new burger out that I really want to try called the Hat Trick.
Oh, I've seen that, yeah.
There may or may not have been an instance of hangover food ordered today.
Okay, yeah, of course.
I'm reluctant to say whether I have or not, because if my wife listens to this, she'll know I ate it without her. If I did indeed try it.
Obviously, I'm assuming not.
Obviously, definitely not. But had there been any hangover food ordered, wouldn't you believe it that McDonald's, through a different delivery service, may or may not have forgotten my fucking chips that I may or may not have ordered?
Probably the same people that worked at sofasawankers.com.
Probably. I dare say it is. That's who they got to deliver your sofa as their independent courier. It was fucking Deliveroo.
It's about as good as.
So I had to forget something.
Makes my piss red.
I think the butt plug's in a little bit too deep, mate.
Another one. Southeast London cocktail and small plates bar a restaurant worker here.
That's a mouthful.
It was a little bit, yeah. Instead of calling in the exterminators for cockroaches and ants,
Wow.
the owners made us, the minimum wage front of house staff, deal with the infestation.
Disgusting.
Needless to say, we didn't do a great job and had cockroaches for the whole time I worked in that establishment.
So they've stolen your idea and they've done cockroach cocktails.
Brilliant, yeah, that's the one.
Bastards.
And then someone dips the penis in it as well.
Oh, man.
And then they go on to say they dim the lights real low in the evening so customers couldn't see them.
Oh, man.
And eventually called environmental health on them after they wiped my holiday pay.
I mean, you probably should have done it in the first place anyway.
Probably, yes. But I mean, I suppose better late than never, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but had they, treated them as an employee as they should have been, then they never would have called them.
That is very true. But it's not my confession. You have to go at me.
No, I'm sorry, buddy. You told me not to, but I am indeed shooting the messenger.
Just because you got a hangover.
Just don't shout! My head!
Speaking of East London, in KFC, someone said that they used to work there. The amount of times fresh chicken would be dropped on the dirty, unmopped floor and then put on the racks was gross. Also, the gravy is made from all the leftover parts of dripping tray from the chicken.
Grim.
It's honestly revolting if you actually see the tray and how it's made.
If someone dropped some of my food on the floor and then stuck it into boiling hot oil for like 5 minutes, I'd probably be fine with that, because that's probably going to kill anything.
Yeah, I get that.
But if it's cooked and then dropped and then just placed to be served, that's when it's a no-no for me.
Okay. Well, what about this next one also from KFC, where one of the guys in the kitchen dropped raw chicken into a mop bucket filled with dirty water.
Ooh, and cleaning products.
Just used to mop the kitchen. Breaded it, cooked it, and put it in the metal trays to be served.
Oh, God. Just get another bit of fucking chicken, man.
God, could you imagine the taste of that? Come back, dishcloth all's forgiven.
Get out the bin.
Dirty.
Take your throne upon my tap, dishcloth.
Another one. I used to work for Domino's as a manager, and honestly, not all managers follow the health and safety standards for food. Our store manager uses any pizza cutters for all pizza. Doesn't matter what allergy you have or intolerance. He'll just do it. He's laughed when I've asked him not to do it anymore, as I'm vegan and we have drivers and in-store workers who eat halal. He will even put 2 different cutters together. Example, vegan and meat cutters touching each other.
Oh, man.
Some in stores I have seen also drop food and pick it up and were genuinely confused when I told them not to do it.
Wow.
Yeah, right. So this is no dig. I get that these jobs are minimum wage.
Quite taxing, full-on, busy jobs.
Yeah, exactly. But you would think the people doing that would actually still want to take some pride in what they do and actually not drop shit and make potentially other people's lives misery just for the sake of laziness.
It really does show what their intentions are if they can't be bothered to just stick to the basic health and safety.
Exactly. Weird. Another one, ex-Nando's here. Don't eat the sauces out of the bottles. They don't get cleaned. We used to top them up every night. Sometimes the sauce in the bottom would be there for months.
Oh, much like your tea bags or my coffee, 1 or 2.
That is true, yeah. But no, I bring it to the top.
You're a rotator, aren't you?
I am. So that doesn't happen. Hey, maybe you thought you were getting rid of the mould, but actually, just look at the bottom of your coffee pot.
I'm the one that brings the mould. I just wanted that authentic experience.
They also go on to say the frozen yoghurt machines get cleaned once a week if you're lucky.
Ugh, that's hard.
It's all 16 to 19-year-olds who mostly work there and do not give a about if your chicken falls on the floor before cooking.
I can see that.
Yeah, me too. Another one. I used to work in a jewellery shop that was next to Five Guys, and Five Guys used to hold the back door open with burger buns in huge bags, and there would be rats and mice out in the back too.
Ew.
I will never eat there based on what I've seen with that door being open. LOL.
Is that what they said? Thanks for adding that important piece of information in at the end there.
Absolutely, yeah. This is also kind of makes me feel sick. I used to work at a fairly expensive hotel that did weddings. Most weddings had condiments in the middle of each table in little ramekins, and after each wedding or event, we were told to tip the remains back in the big containers in the fridge, even if it was obviously used or double dipped.
Grim.
See, the thing is, you just don't know, do you? Like, there is no way to know that.
You could look at one restaurant and see what's going on, like that Five Guys one, for example. Like, I'm never eating there. I'll go to a different one. So you go to another one, but the only difference is you just don't see what goes on. So it could be the exact same.
Exactly. Or it could be worse.
It could be worse. Yeah, your only option is to just never eat fast food again. Never eat anywhere except your own house. But then again, you don't even know where the food that you're buying from the shop is prepared.
Very true. Although, I don't know, at least it's probably less likely to be made or prepared by 16 to 19-year-olds who don't give a shit.
I don't know. A friend of mine recently started work at a factory that makes pastries for some well-known shops and bakeries and things like that, and not just in our local area, like nationwide.
Right.
And they said the meat was just left out of the fridges. The fucking stock room was disgusting. It was all people that just didn't give a shit about the job. It was shit all, absolutely disgusting. And that is where pasties and things like that are made for shop distribution.
Wow. I'm just thinking now, if I just stop eating, I'll have at least a good kind of like 6 months.
Yeah. Just stock up on the water, mate. You'll be fine.
A couple of electrolytes, it'll be all right.
Exactly. Yeah, just live on Lucozade, mate. You're all good.
Actually, little thing, I think if you put cucumber in your water, that gives you all your electrolytes that you need.
Ah.
There you go.
So not only are we stopping people from going to every restaurant in the world, Lucozade's going to take a hit.
Hey, I'm not stopping you on Lucozade. Do what you like. Another one. Speaking of hotels, I worked at a hotel where they had a major fly problem. Flies would go on the food and in people's drinks, and I just watched the manager pick the flies off the food or out of the drinks and still serve it to customers.
That's grim.
I quit It was gross. Then she goes on to say, another place I worked at never cleaned the ice machine, so one day I decided to do it and there was black gunky mould all over the inside of it. It was horrendous. It put me off wanting ice in my drinks for life.
Yeah, I don't get ice in my drinks. I've heard a lot of horror stories about ice machines.
There used to be some documentaries on TV, and I remember it as a kid, where it was all about ice machines and so on, never getting cleaned properly.
Yeah.
And that really put me off ice as well.
Pretty shitty.
There is that too, where staff that don't use gloves scoop the ice up, touch the ice with their bare hands, after they've been to the loo and they have tested it, and they're, shall we say, human excrement on that ice.
Giant lumps of poops, little Klingons. They forgot to wipe off.
Beautiful. Another one, used to work at Pizza Hut. The lasagna and mac and cheese were served in the same dishes as the cookie dough. We would serve cookie dough with lasagna on it from the dish because it wasn't washed, and told to cover it with ice cream and sauce because, and I quote, no one will know.
That's f***ed up, man. That's awful, isn't it?
It really is, and I can imagine it.
Just fucking wash it. I mean, how long is it going to take?
Yep, disgusting. Another one from Cafe Nero, actually. I used to work there, and on the training modules it shows how much the basic drinks cost. 16 pence for a latte, and not even 1p for an English tea.
Wow.
Just over half a penny.
Hell.
And also, at most Cafe Neros, everything gets chucked in the dishwasher for a water rinse, rather than properly washed with soap. Awful. And actually, I was thinking about this when I heard that, and Ian, that I used to work in that big chain department store way back when.
I do, yep.
And that also ran a cafe and a restaurant. And I remember distinctly our manager once, and he sort of confided in me, and he said that the biggest profit in not just our store, but in the whole company nationwide, was a cup of tea.
Wow.
Because it cost them like tenths of a penny, and they charged like £2 for it.
Maybe that's where they went under, because they were putting all the fucking eggs in tea baskets.
Maybe. Penultimate one, from Costa. I was making a smoothie for a customer, and as I pressed the blend button, I noticed a fly was buzzing around in the blender.
Oh.
The blend function runs for around 30 seconds, so I went to grab another mix to make another. Came back, and my colleague had already poured it out and served it.
Oh, Matt, well, at least they didn't know, and it wasn't like just disregarding the rules and they did it on purpose. At least it was an honest-to-God accident.
Well, you say that, but they were like, a fly. Extra fucking protein.
Yeah, delicious, mate.
I'll make you one next time. Final one, just not very nice. From Alton Towers, of all places.
Oh.
And it goes on to say, this will shock you. I used to work at the Alton Towers Hotel, and the amount of shady stuff that happens there is insane. No proper training goes on. Management do not care for their staff. I remember cutting my hand on a glass, and it was pretty deep, just to be told, put a plaster on it and go on your break.
I'll do it.
Bracket, I ended up having 7 stitches after they eventually called me an ambulance.
Well, like to the face. It's like, you're an ambulance. Let me sew that up for you, pal.
I thought for a second, I get it now. I thought you meant they stitched up the mouth because they kept complaining.
Oh, no. I've got another way around it, I guess.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not specified, so it could be either or.
If they had the needle and thread, though, they could have just sewed up the cut. They didn't have to go for the mouth. While I'm here, I may as well.
Very true, yeah. Bit annoying, though, wasn't it, that they didn't actually use 2 separate pieces, so now, the mouth is next to the hand.
Just forever telling everyone to shh.
Ironically, they're the one whistleblowing. The worst of all is the amount of food that is relabeled, as in food can go out of date and is still being relabeled. For example, last year there were loads of lamb that was out of date and it was relabeled 3 times.
Oh, wow.
Lasting for 3 days on each label.
So that's another 9 days on top.
Yeah. Well past the use-by date, the meat fridge stank really bad.
I can imagine.
My breaking point, and when I left, is when they asked me to cut off mould off a big block of cheese because it's still good inside. And they finally end with just saying quite simply, the amount of money they make as well is mind-blowing. It cost them £2.63 to make an adult burger, and they sold it for £17.
Get out. That's a way to make money.
I mean, you can expect that, I guess, people being hell-bent on people making profit.
Oh, yeah.
I understand it. I get it. But yeah, there you go. Confessions from ex-employees. And I do apologise, actually, for anyone that is listening to this while tucking into their delicious takeaway pizza.
Just sat down with the McDonald's, ready for a little feast while they listen to two guys. I wonder what the friendly two guys are going to be talking about today.
With their extra ice in their cup of Fanta.
Yeah. They're sniffing each bite of the burgers like, can I smell shit? Do you smell shit on this? James, smell my burger.
Oh, disgusting.
Yeah. Thanks for putting us all off our food, Jordan.
You're welcome. More than happy.
Right, my wife has stood behind me. I can feel her eyes burning into the back of my skull, and I think she wants to go to bed. So I think we should probably wrap it up about now, if that's all right with you, Jordan.
That's all right. Should we go super fast again?
Let's go super fast. Thank you for tuning into today's episode of Two Guys What's Up. Don't forget to follow the show wherever you listen to us so you don't miss another episode, and maybe even tell a friend. Take your friend on a lovely little date. Take them out to Burger King, because I believe that was the only one that Jordan didn't mention which had any horrible food secrets attached to it. So take them out, go up to the person behind the counter and just say, hey, stick this on, I'm trying to impress my date, and it will obviously be Two Guys What's Up, and then you're probably in there, pal, on for the best night of your life.
I don't blame them, because if you would like to get in touch with us, our Linktree link is in the bio of this episode, which you can click on and be jetted off to every single link you will ever need for all your Two Guys What's Up essentials. Want to get your own Two Guys What's Up t-shirt? Click the link.
Want to be part of your own séance? Click the link.
Want to work at a food place and tell on them?
In baguettes and serve them to people?
Oh, God. Click the link.
And don't forget, we now have Patreon, where you can find all of your Two Guys What's Up extra essentials, including pin badges, shout-outs, t-shirts, and if you really can't get enough of our fantastic tales and generous voices, well, now you can get more, because we now release bonus episodes, which come out on the last Friday of every month. There is currently 11 sitting up there waiting for your ears to just go and have a little good old sensual wriggle around that audio goodness. And all that is available right now, starting with the bonus episodes for just £3 a month.
So if you want to help support the show and get some cool stuff while you do so, head over to patreon.com/Two Guys What's Up to check out all the goodies over there. The link will be down below for your clicking pleasure.
But if you can't do that, but you'd still like to help us out, then a 5-star rating and review in your podcast app of choice would be the best way to do that for us, and we would be eternally grateful.
We would indeed.
But on that note, thanks for listening. Y'all have an amazing week, and we will see you next Monday.
Burger King.
Burger King. Mate, I'm so sorry for this, mate. I was struggling to write it properly.
You're fucking struggling to say it properly.
By November, no. I'm just making shit up now. By November, it says February, Ian. Joint to observe. Observe? Why can't I speak? Fucking man, I don't want this to sound shit, because it's such a good story.
It sounds it.
For what you're getting of it. You will listen to all my readings multiple times.
Fucking do, don't they?
Participants often record... Mate, it's doing my head in. But it was putting something that I think... but it was putting... Sorry about this, mate. I'm sorry. So sorry. Can't apologise enough. Are you still there, Jordan?
I am.
When it's put in there... When it's put in the device, the voice is still... Sake. I've written this so badly, I'm sorry. Honestly can't say sorry enough. In some instances, I just can't speak tonight. I don't know what the f***'s wrong with me.
Do you want me to do it for you?
Images would appear on unopened rolls of films. I've already said that, but that was really good take. Quite pissed off with that. This is why we stopped recording on the night time.
Yes.
But someone has to go and watch Taylor Swift, so we got to do one early.
That's it. I'm a Swiftie. Our Linktree link is in the bio of this episode.
Get it together, Jordan. This is disgraceful. 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry, I just f***ed up my notes here.
Yeah, this is going to take a while.
Oh, f***ing long time, mate. So when I get into it, when I get the reading juices flowing, I'll start bashing it out, mate.
Yeah, that'll be when you're like, and that's it.
Yeah. Click the link. Hey, I read it.
I'm so glad you're going to be the one editing this.